Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Positive Change Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron.
And I'm Camille.
Today, we're going to be talking about attitude.
And gratitude.
Let's get positive.
What happened this week?
Gosh, it's not even this week. It's just the last day. There's been so many crazy things that have happened that have made it a little hard to keep more of a positive attitude. Just today and yesterday in general. I mean, the biggest one that we can start off with is the podcast in general.
Oh, yeah.
This is actually take 2 because the first one that we did, the audio was completely messed up. And it was terrible. So the
children.
Yeah, our children messed with our audio interface and made it so that we couldn't record it properly. And when I went back and listened to it this morning, it was all poppy and crackly. So we're re-recording it literally the night before.
Monday night.
Yeah, it is currently like 9:30, I think. Yeah, it's like 9:30, and it comes out at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So you guys are hearing it almost live, which is pretty cool for you guys, I guess. But
stressful for us.
Yeah, but at least we're doing it. We're here. We're ready to go. And
hopefully
the messages will still be the same, because I feel like the first recording we had some really good messages. So I hope it's still going to be relatively the same and you guys gain some value from it. With that being said, I think we should just hop right in.
To
the quote. Unless you have a couple more things that you wanted to talk about. Cool. Let's do it.
Other than the fact that it was Mother's Day on Sunday.
It was Mother's Day on Sunday. Happy late Mother's Day. Which, I mean, I already told you Happy Mother's Day on Mother's Day, but... And Happy Mother's Day to everybody who is a mother, who is listening. You guys rock. You're awesome. You're doing great.
You know, moms that are more of a mom figure. Yep. Any mom in my mind.
You guys rock.
Yep. You're doing your best.
Let's hop into the quote.
Yep.
Go then.
Quote is, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Maya Angelou. What do you think about that?
I think it is exactly what attitude was like meant to be. Like, if you have something that you can't change, then the real problem at that point is you. You're the one who's creating the problem. And the only way to do that is to change your attitude about it. So I think the best way is just be aware of what you're feeling and what's going on and what you can do to create more of that positive atmosphere in your own life and that positive mentality, so that when those things do come around and they can't be changed, you know that you can change your attitude about the situation you're in. How about you? What do you think about it?
I think it's a lot of, instead of, changing someone else's opinion or someone else's attitude, it's more on you to change your attitude and to be more willing to do that.
I think oftentimes we try to wish that someone was a certain way without taking into consideration the person that they are.
Yeah.
And accepting them for who they are. I mean, that's something that everybody struggles with, I think. I think everybody has a specific idea of who they want someone to be, or who they have an idea for who they want their spouse to be, who they want their best friend to be, you know? And they put these ideals in their head and these ideas, and then they can often become either disappointed or let down, and it can change them as a person.
Yeah.
And I think attitude is one of the building blocks of your character. It's one of the main components that makes you you. Because if you're a person who walks around who is down and upset and just kind of angry at the world or angry at your situations and everything, you're probably not going to have a lot of people who want to come around you. You're not going to have a lot of people who want to, ask you for things or anything, because you've kind of put off that demeanor that you don't want to. Whereas if you put off the demeanor that I'm willing to help, I like to help, I am positive, and I want to, experience life, then people will probably want to hang out with you and be your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that, people who are in the bad moods and everything like that have to stay in those forever, and not to say that you're a bad person because you're in that bad mood, because you're not. I mean, we all have moments where we're not in good moods, and we all have tough times, and we struggle, and we aren't exactly the person that we usually are in certain instances. But that doesn't mean that that's the person that we are permanently. So, experiencing and knowing who you want to be, the attitude that you want to present and share with other people is very important. And then I think attitude also is very important to your own personal development and success. If you don't produce an attitude of, I've done this, but I can do a little bit more, or I see that this needs to be done, so I'm going to do it, then it makes it very easy to fall into the trap of, oh, I'll do that a little bit later. Oh, that doesn't need to be done right now. Or I've done enough. I can rest. I don't need to do anymore. And there's a time for rest. There's a time to say, okay, I've done enough. But you should always be looking for what's next. What's going to be propelling you forward? What's going to be motivating you and turning you into a person who is growing and learning. Because learning is a lifelong pursuit. It's something that you are always doing throughout life. And you should always be trying to educate yourself, whether it's from a personal point of view, whether it's reading books, whether it's going to school. There's so many forms of education, and they're all very important, and they can have their own points that bring value into your life.
Yeah.
So I think that it's very important to have an attitude that's geared towards success and personal development, and that's rooted in positivity, that can propel those things or be a catalyst to enhance in them. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well,
I know I've talked a lot.
it's a lot. And I'm quite tired.
Yeah. Well, let me just throw one more thing, and then I'll let you just talk about that one thing, because I think that will kind of be up your wheelhouse. Along with it being the key to personal development and success, I think that attitude is also almost like a door that opens you to new opportunity
Yeah.
in friendships, relationships, business, and personal life. What do you think about that?
Well, it's like the lovely quote that everybody quotes, which is like, what is it? Oh, when a door closes, a window opens.
When one door closes, the
You
other door
know?
opens.
Yeah. Um, I always think that your attitude is what propels you into certain directions. So, for instance, if you have a really great, positive, joyful attitude, not saying that you don't have down days, um, you're more than likely going to, in turn, have people o- around you or want to be around you in that same manner or want to be that way. It's not going to be people that are going to be the polar opposite of you. Or vice versa, which is you're a joyous person, you are positive, so people you think are your friends that are the opposite of you don't want to be your friend anymore because they think you're too much of positive and joy and they really don't want that.
And that kind of goes back to in our first episode where we talked about like the toxic positivity.
Yeah.
Where you're so positive that people are like, okay, you need to like calm down a little bit, and it becomes something where it's more of harming rather than helping.
Well, I just think that there are certain people who just like, no matter, it's not a bad thing, but just no matter what level of positivity and joy you are, they don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's too much for them, if it's not too much for other people, and it's too much for them, they're going to start cutting back on like being around you. And to me, those people are only there for either for their own gain or for just the short time.
Yeah, but I think also with that, sometimes people are put in your life not sometimes for seasons. So,
Yeah.
like that's how I've always seen it. You have certain people that are put in your life for a certain purpose. They may be there for a day. They may be there for a week. They may be there for a year. You may have some people that stay in your life forever. And every single one of them has some sort of purpose in your life. It may be someone's in your life, makes you smile once, never see them again.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of meaning that comes into it. And just because that person was only there for a little while, that doesn't mean you didn't add value into their life.
Yeah.
Maybe it means they're not ready for it yet.
Yeah.
They aren't in a position themselves to be able to accept that. Or you did give them exactly what they needed for that exact moment. And while it can hurt sometimes to lose those people or separate from them, it can be for the best because, like I said, when one door closes, another opens. And when one relationship dwindles, you may find another one that brings more joy and positivity or brings more challenges into your life that help you grow and become stronger and help the other person grow and become stronger. So I think it's important to adopt the attitude of positivity in the sense of I'm going to do my best to be positive, but know that even on my
Bad
days, there's still going to be good ones around the corner. And always be in the sense of I can do hard things.
Yeah.
That's always been my motto since I came home from my mission, because that was my mission motto. And I think that that's kind of like my life mantra in a way, is I can do hard things. No matter how hard they are, I can do them.
Yep.
As long as I believe in myself and I keep that attitude. So, what are some ways that we can kind of implement this attitude, this adoption of attitude into our lives? I know you had a couple that you were thinking of that you might be able to toss out there.
Well, I think the biggest thing when it comes to attitude is it's not just like attitude of positivity, it's attitude of gratitude.
Mm.
The lovely saying of, what is it? Attitude is the best, well, gratitude is the best attitude. So, with gratitude, just doing things like a gratitude journal. Granted, I don't do that well with those. I never have.
Not everybody is. It's not for everybody.
Journaling is just not my thing. But that doesn't mean you can't still and take the same things that come with doing a gratitude journal daily, which is writing down one thing or 5 things that you're grateful for that happened that day, and just saying it to your partner, saying it to a friend, at the end of the day. It could be in a text message, it could be in a phone call, saying it to a family member, things like that. I also think having a more better positive attitude would be, if you are religious or you are not, that's fine. But if you are, reading your Bible in the morning could lift your spirits, or, instead of just getting up and going about your day, you could pray in the morning. If you're not religious, then you can do just more of the sense of, instead of getting on your phone, because I know a lot of us do,
Guilty.
the right when you wake up, you get right on your phone. Instead of doing that, like, just get up and go outside and just sit in nature for a minute. Or if you're like us, who we live in a hot climate, sitting outside in the morning,
Not really an option.
not really an option unless you want to get up at the butt crack of dawn.
Yeah.
And
even then, in the middle of summer, it's still hot.
It's still hot. But still getting up and doing something. Or, if you're a mom or you're married, getting up and making breakfast for your spouse or your children or your family, it could help change your attitude. For me, I find my gratitude and my best attitude to be when I do things for others that make me feel good. Because I don't know how everybody else is going to react when they get what I give. Because I like to crochet. I've just now all of a sudden picked up doing canning.
Which is awesome. And super fun.
It's super fun. It's just very
time
consuming, and it's a labor of love. Both of the things I do are a labor of love. And I don't know how people will react when they get the gift, but it's me thinking of the people who I'm making this for and what good it'll do for them, how much easier it'll make their life.
Yeah.
Especially like my parents. I just give it to them. It's like, well, look, you have like a dinner idea for whenever you want to use it. Or, I thought of you and I made these pickles for you. Just for you. Just for you. But I like doing those things because it makes me happy.
And that's what's important. I think that was leading into the thing that I was going to talk or say. I was going to add on to what you were saying. Finding what brings gratitude into your life is very much an experiment because you have to kind of do a trial and error with a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Gratitude could be simply just like being thankful
Yeah.
for the things that you've gotten in the day or that have happened to you in the day. And those things can be found through meditation. They can be found through reading your Bible, reading a good book, listening to a song. Just depends on what you're interested in. Me personally, I find my true like peace and gratefulness when I am doing the things I love, like wakeboarding. Like
Your
when I get onto like a wakeboard or something like that, or if I like even going to the lake, like those are the types of things that bring me peace.
Mhm.
Because to me, that's my happy place. Like that's the place I would go if I need to just decompress and relax. And I'm grateful for that. It's something that I have found that brings peace into my life.
Mhm.
And it helps me to develop my attitude into that positive attitude at that moment. But it's very much an experiment because you have to test many things to see what works for you to then be able to implement that
Yeah.
regularly. But although it's an experiment, it doesn't mean that you have to experiment with everything. If you have an idea of like, oh, I think that might work, just pick and choose a couple and just try them. See if they work. I think that's the best thing you can do is just try, because if you don't try, you'll never know.
Well, I like to do things for others. It doesn't give me peace. I don't truly find peace or relaxation just because it's the way I am. I don't. But
Sounds like something we should work on.
it gives me a sense of just purpose instead of just don't get me wrong, I'm grateful to be a wife. I'm grateful to be a mom. Being a mom was like one thing I've always wanted to do, but it gives me a different purpose instead of being mom and lovey.
It lets you be you.
Yeah.
Which is very important.
Or
especially
daughter.
in a relationship.
Or daughter. Or granddaughter, for that matter. So it gives me a different.
Well, I think that's also an important part of your attitude is knowing who you are.
Yeah.
And you can't really be grateful if you don't know the things to be grateful for.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who you are, then you don't know what you can be grateful for.
Yep.
So it's another part of it. Like, and I think we touched on it in past podcasts is knowing who you are and developing yourself and finding who you are. So this is just kind of an all around part of it. It just goes back to things that we talked to in the past so far. So if you haven't watched the past podcasts, go back and watch them and come back to this one. But it's really important to develop yourself to be able to adopt this certain aspect of personal development, but there's so many different things that you can do to find who you are. But I think gratitude is a very big start because showing gratitude towards yourself and towards others and adopting that into your attitude, your everyday attitude, can create wonders and it can create the positive change that we're wanting in this world. So I think there was one other thing that the listeners and the fans can do, and that was the mantras. You want to give a little bit on your mantra?
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. Just the fact that I have mantras. I was going to use the help mantra, but then I thought about the mantra I used while I was pregnant.
I totally forgot about that one.
It just popped into my head.
The one that I created for you.
Yes, because pregnancy for both of our boys were extremely hard for me.
They got a little bit better near the end, but
Yeah, they always got better at the
second trimester.
They got better in the second trimester.
Yeah.
First and third was just not fun for me.
And at the very end, you were just like, I'm done.
Because I'm very short. I have very small torso, and so by the point I get to third trimester, I'm literally all baby, and I feel like a beached whale. So I don't really necessarily like third trimester all that much, but our mantra was, I'm strong and I can do this, because it was extremely hard, especially with our first, to be pregnant. It was really hard. It was mentally, emotionally, and physically draining on me, just because my body was going through changes and I was seeing it firsthand, just watching my body alter itself, and then going through all the pain, which I don't have a high pain threshold.
It's gotten a lot better since that kid, though. Like,
both.
Yeah. Well, the first, like no pain threshold.
Yeah.
It was
0.
You were like asking for the epidural right away. But the second one, you handled it super, super good. And I feel like after your first, like, even like needles, like you were like, go ahead, stick me, I don't care.
Terrified.
Yeah, and now you're like, go ahead.
Well, I'm still terrified of needles.
Well, yeah, but you've kind of gotten over the fact that you're just like.
But when it comes to like when
I have to do it.
When I'm pregnant, I'm just kind of like, well, this is what comes with being pregnant. Like, you have to get poked and prodded, so whatever. But yeah, that was the mantra, and I still said it like with our second, because I went a week past what I was with our first, and I was
They weren't
like,
expecting that at all.
No,
they were thinking you were honestly going to be earlier, but
well, my OB was the one that was like, do you want to be on the elective induction? Because I was 39 weeks, and I was like, I had my first at 38. This is getting ridiculous. I was in so much pain. But I just had to keep saying to myself, I'm strong and I can do this.
And even now, like, we still say that. That's still a mantra that we use.
And we say it we have the boys say it when they're scared of something. We're like, you're strong and you can do this.
And it does help. It really does help. Even in someone that young, like it mantras are things that can be used in all ages. I mean, we've seen videos of school teachers saying certain mantras that encourage the kids
to have a good day.
Yeah, exactly.
To have, there's one that's recently going around on TikTok, and it's from a mom. I really like her. She's really funny. Lindsay Girk is her TikTok handle. It's just her name. But her mantra that she says with her kids every morning is just very helps with their self-esteem while also helping them be independent.
Well, and I think along with that, because like kids' minds are still forming, they're still building the neural pathways and everything. And so when you introduce something like that early, it helps them to then adopt that kind of into their life and then use that subconsciously so that they can keep it in the back of their mind, and it kind of guides them. It creates a guide for them. But I love mantras altogether. The one from the help that she was talking about is, you is kind, you is I have it down here. You is kind, you is smart, you is important. And it's really strong to think about. Like, there's so many different ones that you can do. You can go onto Google. You can look up mantras. Find one that you like. Write it down somewhere you can see it. Repeat it to yourself. Say it to yourself. And I know it might be silly at first. Like, you'll probably feel funny saying it, but like, the more that you say it, the more that you believe it, the more it'll get implemented in your life, and the better the attitude that you'll be able to develop.
They use it in therapy. When you're going into therapy, I've done it now, 3 times I've done therapy. It is one of the biggest things that they ask you if you're willing to do, which is a mantra. You find your own mantra, and then depending on what kind of therapy you're doing, generally they have you find a picture of your childhood self. One that you like, one that you are by yourself, one that you're like, that's who I imagine talking to. Or, it doesn't have to be a child. It could be you in your teenage years, or you as a young adult or whatever. And you stick it on your mirror where you can see it every morning, because everybody goes and brushes their teeth. Everybody goes in the bathroom in the morning. And you say the mantra, not looking at yourself in the mirror, but looking at the picture. And there are studies about how that helps heal your inner child or heal yourself. But you don't always have to do it that way. You can just say it to yourself in the mirror, and it's better to say it to yourself in the mirror.
I think it's important to do both.
Yeah.
Because especially if you have like past traumas that maybe you don't even know about.
Yeah.
Maybe it was something that really wasn't even that big of a trauma, but it's left something in your mind that is tough and you struggle with, that is more subconscious than anything. I think that can help. Like, that really does help, because if you're addressing, in a way, if you're addressing the past you that had those problems and that trauma happen, it can help now present you be able to cope and grow out of the trauma that has happened. Because I mean, trauma stays. Like, it's always going to be there. It's learning to not really live with it, but learning how to overcome the feelings that come with that trauma.
Yeah. Not building a bridge, but more like
Dealing with it.
using it as a stepping stone.
Yeah, I mean, it's not building a bridge at all. It's dealing with the past trauma and accepting that what happened did happen.
Yeah.
But it's not what makes me me.
Yeah.
My past trauma is my past. It happened. But now I can move forward knowing who I want to be and who I am.
Yeah.
And that's what all these things are important for. Like, adopting the gratitude, becoming self-aware, becoming more self-confident, and all of these things. They're so important, because in any aspect of your life, past, present, future, these are what make you you. And the only person who can do that is
you. It's you.
So, one thing that I would challenge everyone to do, and I think we should do this too, is sit down, take 2 pieces of paper, and I want you to write letters. I want you to write a letter to your past self and a letter to your future self. In the letter to your past, I want you to say what you would have told them if you were yourself giving them advice. And this can be something as simple as, I wouldn't have dated that boy. Or, I would have tried out for the basketball team.
Or I would have tried out for that soccer team.
Yeah. Or, I would have taken a chance on that right there. I would have. There's so many things that you could do. And for your future, it's, instead of I would have, I want you to say, I will do this. Set your goals that you want. put them realistically, and then put some that are just big dreams. If you want to be a movie star that's,
Do
working
the wildest ones you want.
on a Marvel movie or something, like, put that down,
Do
because
the wildest ones you can think of.
those are the fun dreams, and those are the ones that, like, those get you excited, and they're fun. But put some realistic ones that can be accomplished soon, because you build a roadmap. You start with the little ones, you build up to the bigger ones, and then you get to the biggest ones.
So my only question would be, how long do you want, like, because some people do the future ones, they do it like you're supposed to open them 5, 10 years from now.
I think that should really be set by you. And this is just a one-time thing.
Yeah.
You can do this multiple times, but I think for us, maybe we do it as like a 5-year one. I think 5 years is good. You guys decide what you want to do, if you decide to do this, but I think 5 years is a good time frame for, people my age and, well, our age. We're literally a year apart.
Not even.
Not even. But for people our age, there's so many things that are changing in life. There's so many dreams and aspirations that are going on at this time in life. Whether it's graduating from college, getting married, having kids,
Graduating from high school.
Well, we graduated from high school like 7 years ago. So I know it's crazy, but
yours is 8 minus 7.
But still, like, there's so many things that are changing, and if you can set the realistic goals of what you want for the next 5 years, and just keep that somewhere that you can see it, whether it's on your mirror while you're saying your mantra every single day, whether it's in your wallet on a little piece of paper, whether it's on your phone. Put it somewhere you can see it, and just look at it every once in a while and reassess whether you're headed in a direction that's leading for that.
Oh man, that sounds like one of our past episodes.
Yeah, I know, they all connect. Isn't it crazy?
It's wild.
But I think that's a great plan for what you can do to develop a positive mindset, positive attitude that's geared towards gratitude. Know what you're grateful for, past, present, future, and implement them. Implement those things into your life, and you'll be happy. You'll be positive. You'll be growing. You'll be learning. And you'll just be happy. And that's what's really important right now in this life, is being happy and spreading that happiness throughout the world. We all need it, and it's important in everybody's life to have some sort of happiness. But I think that's really all we have for this one. I think the next thing that we have is really just a basic teaser for the next episode.
Well, I did have one more challenge.
You do?
I do.
Sweet. I like challenges. She has one more. Let's do this.
It's more towards our fans, or, anyone that's new, that's just listening. More so just kind of ask yourself after this podcast is done, and it doesn't have to be like immediately after you finish watching this and you write something down, but in the comments wherever you're listening from, or you decide it's just too personal and you rather just DM us or whatever, that's fine. But just how can gratitude help you or help others see the world more differently? That way, we all can kind of feed off each other and see, what others are seeing, then, vice versa. And we'll do the same. We'll comment underneath and say, how we would want the world to be seen with gratitude. I just challenge you to do that. And it doesn't have to be today when you're watching this. It could be, on our next episode, you could, post it on there. It doesn't really matter. Or one of our posts throughout the week that are made.
Yeah.
Just kind of think on that. Because I would love to hear your thoughts on how, we could see the world through a different lens.
Well, I think it's important to feed off of other people's energies as well, because it's difficult to be positive when you're the only one there. But if you have more people around you that are also being positive, it's much easier
Yeah.
to share, to be inclusive. There's a great little meme, and I'll kind of end on this, but there's a great little meme that I've seen just kind of going around, and it's of a big group of just like black and white outline people, and then all of a sudden this bright yellow guy just walks into the middle of them, and he's just happy and smiling, and all these guys are like turned around and they're like, no, we don't want to like talk to him, we don't want to do anything with him. And then all of a sudden it starts to spread a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more until the entire page is just yellow.
Yeah.
And that's how you see, or that's how I see gratitude and attitude, and how it can affect others, because that can be both positive and negative emotions that are being spread. So be conscious of the attitude that you're spreading in this world, and choose to be positive. Choose to do what you can to make a positive effect in someone else's life, and in your own life especially. Choose to be kind. Choose to love rather than hate. Choose to turn the other cheek, in all honesty. Like, choose to be the person that you want to see in this world.
Yeah.
So, and that really leads into also our little teaser, which I love that that
video I sent you.
That video you sent me. But we'll talk about that maybe next week. But next week we're gonna be diving into more of an emotional topic.
There may be some tears.
Yeah, there may be. We're gonna try to, I don't know, I kind of want to start getting a little bit deeper here. We're gonna be really jumping into our own personal feelings and emotions, and I think there's no better way to really start it off than talking about forgiveness and mercy. Forgiveness is a very, very hard and touchy subject. It can be very powerful, both positively and negatively, because forgiveness is the only thing that can truly help you heal.
Yeah.
And forgiveness starts with mercy. Mercy towards the person who did you wrong. Mercy towards yourself and the feelings that you're having. So we hope you're excited for that episode. We're really excited. We're doing a good amount of research on it, so we're going to be coming in maybe a little bit longer than our usual ones, but we're super excited for it, and we're super excited for just this podcast and everything you guys are doing, the support you guys have been showing us, and we're grateful for you. We love you. It really does. It means a lot. We're just looking at it today. We posted a little YouTube short, and from that YouTube short, we got like 10 subscribers, which was awesome. Like, we're so excited, super happy. It's slow, but like great things grow slowly. And I feel like this is something that is going to be important, not only in our lives, but the people who are listening, you guys. So we're grateful for you. We love you. We can't wait for all the other messages that we have to share with you. And we hope that you are just as excited. And we hope that you're getting some sort of value from the things that we're sharing. The only other challenge we have is that we want you just to be the change that you want to see in this world, and try to share that positivity that you want, as well as if you have any questions or anything that you want us to talk about, leave a comment, send us a DM over Instagram, TikTok, anything. Follow us on that, subscribe, like, share this with a friend, whatever you guys can do to share positivity in this world. We're grateful for you. We love you again. And we'll plan to see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.